Ooh. Be glad that you are free, free to change your mind, free to go most anywhere, anytime. Be glad that you are free. There's many a man who's not. Be glad for what you have and baby what you got. Be glad for what you got. Hello. Okay, I don't know if apparently there are 2 people watching. Anyway, hello. Obviously, a bit of technical confusion. So welcome. Yeah, greetings humanity. I was playing a bit of guitar. I've been playing loads of guitar, so it's just kind of where I'm at, really. Just like, yeah, I play like quite a lot, which is good. So here we are. We're talking about freedom. So I called it Free at Last, and yeah. I've got it. Oh yeah, there you go. What is freedom? What is freedom? That's the question we're asking. That's the question I've been pondering. Maybe you have as well. Right, if I go to this view, let me see. So hello people. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. Just trying to set this up because, as you may have noticed, it was mucking around before. So I have to re-add a layer in. It's going to be this one. Share. And then that will be there. That is there. Great. Right. Let's put this down. I'm just going to keep playing it else. Right. So welcome to the shoddiest ever yet theme stream in terms of the start and everything. So it's me, Mneme, joining you to talk about freedom. And we've got Ace here as well. Ace Melete, just discovered his last name this week. And then we've also got over here you can't really see your face. This is I. Why it's not really visible? There you go. This is Ayawade. And Ayawade is also here with us, so we're all here. So don't worry, we've got you. Clip that. Right, and what else? I've got loads of notes, loads of different areas to talk through. What to say first. So thank you for coming back and listening to my rambling offerings. And I know some of you are a little bit shy on the old keyboards, but it is nice to know what people are thinking and all that. So if you can write to me on nemojones.com if you want to just give me any feedback or whatever about anything. That would be welcome. Because otherwise I just assume you're just watching it for like this is your comedy. You're just having a laugh there, just going, look at this joker. Yeah, because that's what I'd probably be doing. So anyway, blah blah blah. Freedom is obviously a huge subject. It's almost too big. It's too big for me, too big for us, too big for society to have a grasp on it. It's like it's not there. It's not in the field really. To me, I feel as if it's like it's abstracted out of like a real sense of what freedom is and when we're being free and stuff like that. So there's some sort of real basic things that are interesting about freedom, I think. What one of those, I don't know if this is a good starting point, but I don't know, you could start anywhere really, but the idea that the way things run, basically the way humans run in what is called business, the way they run what they call businesses, the way they do their business, is essentially free. Like it takes place in this realm of agreement and negotiation, and that is a sort of there's lots of legislation, etc., around it, but the body of human society is made up of trust, of people trusting each other. And to some degree, it's interesting. I think people sort of hold generally higher standards of people that they're around than they do when they look further away from themselves out into the rest of the world. So that's an interesting dynamic. But anyway, the point is that freedom is inherent in how we relate to other human beings. It's just like what we do. We are inherently free, and we act inherently free as much as we can, sort of thing. And most of what we do is essentially done freely. Everything we value perhaps is done freely in a sense. I mean, this is going to be a ramble. There's so many. I mean, it's a freedom, right? So what is freedom? Freedom. So yeah, if you are watching this currently, or if you're watching this in the future, you can like and subscribe and things like that, if you like. And I will continue. So what I've noticed, really pondering on this question of freedom, what really is freedom, there seems to be a paradox that is central, and it can be summed up by the idea. Well, there's probably a couple of paradoxes actually, but yeah, basically the idea that it's really. I'm sorry, you can see it really is a paradox because I'm struggling with it because these things kind of go around in loops. So we have freedom. So complete freedom means freedom to do everything, obviously, and that's what we have. But we have so there's that's the full gamut. From you could draw a spectrum, let's say, right, from like creating the most value to negating value and destroying life. With the in the form you're in, sort of thing. That's what we're free to do, and it is very interesting when you think about it, that there's something kind of true there's some paradoxical truth in the statement that to be free, you must obey your conscience, which is kind of paradoxical. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about. That's one aspect of it. But there's so much to the subject, obviously. If we consider the trinity of the cycle of, I guess is that cycle of evolution, this threesome, this this threesome is super interesting. So obviously I'm talking very slowly, and that's fine. But the threesome is the way the wheel turns, basically. So it's the idea, the thinking through of the idea, and then the implementation of the idea. Is one way of thinking of it. Yeah. And so the Trinity in this case is truth, love, and freedom. So that would be the idea. Truth is the idea. It's like, here is reality. You get what you give, basically, ultimately. And then you have love, which is that you understand that idea, you say, oh, okay, great. So I just treat others as I would be treated. That would be working through the idea. And then the implementation of the idea is then freedom. But you have to digest the truth that we are one. And not in a, I think that can be taken off in funny directions. We are one, man. But, obviously it is also true. So, truth, love, freedom. See, yeah, truth is we are one. Love is the recognition of that, the living as if we are one. And freedom is the effect of that. So I think we have completely backwards ideas of freedom in a couple of ways. One being I was trying to follow a thought there and it just wouldn't come back. But so one way of that we have freedom upside down is to do with reaching out. It's very interesting. Somewhere there's a real not tied in, I think, in the concept of freedom, but it's been bent out of shape because let's look at the etymology of it. And I love this. So there's a particular bit I want to focus in on. It says it's from the Proto-Germanic "frijas" root, meaning beloved or not in bondage. So there's two distinct, but that's pretty crazy. Actually, it is actually pretty crazy. So the root of the word freedom has the sense of beloved, and the sense of not in bondage. And it goes on, originally freedom referred to the condition of belonging to one's own people rather than being enslaved. So I would really like to reflect a little bit on that deep meaning or combination of meanings that's right at the root of the word freedom. Because basically it's clear from what it says that it's, or it certainly suggests that from what it's saying, that it's conveying the notion that you have not been enslaved, that you are free in that sense. But there's a deeper meaning, because free, this meaning that's been sort of superimposed of, hey, I'm free to do anything, is not in this original meaning. The meaning of being free means doesn't just mean being a free agent, because ultimately that's only, even though that's been romanticized, but essentially for us, this idea, oh, I'm free, I'm not, I don't have roots. Yeah, that's actually contrary to this original meaning, which is that, of course, you have a home, you have people, and you have a home. That's why, that's the only way you can be beloved, is if you have somewhere to go where you're beloved. And so it means belonging to one's people, to one's own people, rather than being enslaved. And then it has, it's related to the word friend. Freedom is related to the word friend. Literally one who loves, or one who is dear. Freedom is associated with belonging among those who recognize you as one of their own. I find this amazing, actually, that this is in the word freedom. Freedom was associated with belonging among those who recognized you as one of their own. Rather than merely the absence of external restraint, which is basically what it's come to mean, just the absence of external restraint. And it suggests that it was as much a social and legal status as an abstract philosophical concept. So it literally meant that you weren't owned as a slave. You had your freedom. And that meant that you had a home in those times. So, which is, this is actually so central to the whole thing. It's kind of crazy. I've been realizing this as I've been thinking about it. This conflation with freedom, with going out, the open road, everything out there, going crazy, go wild, yeah, use your freedom. At some point, the subject will turn to the land. It's inevitable, because the land is this is the land. That's what this is, land. That's the word for it. That's the word, another word for life, or whatever. This is our place. And so for me, this idea of this association of freedom with with place, with a place. You have the freedom not to roam. You have the freedom to stay. You have the freedom to stay, right? Can I like emphasize that? Yeah, what does that really mean? That's so profound, I think. Because we've been moved and moved and moved and moved on again. And where is the conscience in this way of living, where freedom is bought and sold? Personal freedom, the ability to make one's own choices and direct one's own life without unnecessary interference. Moral freedom, the capacity to choose between alternative courses of action and to be responsible for those choices. Negative freedom, freedom from external interference or coercion. Freedom from. Positive freedom, freedom to develop one's capacities, pursue goals, or achieve self-mastery, also discussed. Legal freedom, a status recognized by law, such as not being enslaved, imprisoned, or otherwise deprived of legal rights. Or, other examples of legal freedoms, I guess, because legal means basically man's law, are things like diplomatic exemption, but or other exemptions. That's a problem with the law, basically. Law's not the law. Man's law is just crazy. It's just crazy. You can't trust it. Like, why would you even start? Why even try? So ridiculous. Such a joke. Such a hilarious joke. Man's law. Oh my god. Man's law. Okay. So So liberty is associated with, again, with the meaning of free citizen as opposed to a slave, along with the rights and protections attached to citizenship. And then another lovely synonym. This is perhaps the nicer word than liberty and freedom. So I'm going to build up the tension before I let you know what this word is. It's really worth paying attention to. I do just think it's got a very good meaning and vibe, and we're going to look at the meaning. The meaning is basically self-law. Yeah, so self-legislation, self-governance, self-management. And that word is autonomy. Auto, self means self, and then nomos means law. So self-law, autonomy. And you can make your own law. Yeah, you can say, I have to do this every morning, or whatever it is you want. You can make your own law. But it also, basically, this is the crazy paradox of freedom, is that if you, it's so clear that if you align your law as closely as you can with the law, not man's law, and just basically look at that and go like, how can I make it even more aligned with the law? Yeah, this is the paradox, that's actually freedom. Who knew? Who knew? That's like, freedom isn't just doing any old thing. That's not freedom. Freedom is doing the exact right thing that you actually that you're here to do. That's freedom. It's actually fulfilling your responsibility is the freedom. I know it's mad, it's a contradiction, but this is actually this is the truth, I think. There is a kind of responsibility with it. So, and I'm going really slow. And just gonna keep going. So freedom is the freedom, that the dumb is just like, means being that. Being the first thing, which in this case is free. So we're looking at free, it's related to friend, it's related to it means not enslaved. It means not taken. It means that has a specific meaning in the root of the word, which is not being taken away. You know, am I reading this wrong? That's what I'm seeing in the etymology. It actually means being able to stay with your people. That's what free means. With your friends. Free, friend. Free, freedom of friendship. So obviously there's the sense of choice, free will. And this is essentially at the root of our sorry, I'm being distracted by my notes. Having a very slow one today. Yeah, discernment and choice is, you know, at the root of who we are and at the root of what makes, yeah, I want to say what makes life worth living, but it's like life. It's like what makes life is the question, really. And it's kind of, I think it's kind of preference, you know, choice. You have the choice and you go, okay, I'm going to do that. And that's like how everything is, you know, kind of relative in that sense. Because your reaction to it is the thing, not the thing itself. That's one aspect of what I'm getting at there. So this freedom, and okay, yeah, and then obviously that's going to relate to the guy. I've now just zoomed past him. Oh, sorry, I totally lost it. Viktor Frankl, there you go. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way, to choose one's attitude. So that's, he's kind of describing it as the last of the human freedoms. I'm, I guess, suggesting that it's the first. of the human freedoms as well. And yeah, clip that. Yeah. Yeah, so Viktor Frankl said that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And I'm saying that it's the first of the human freedoms, or it is freedom. It's the definition of freedom. One's attitude, one's preference. Interesting. Yeah, he talks about the space between stimulus and response. And in that space is our power to choose our response. So this is like really basic freedom, right? And it's like, is there another kind, really? Right. This is incredible. I mean, I don't even know. I feel as if I'm maybe seeing this in a different way to how he meant it or something. I don't know. It's interesting. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. And to determine our response ability. In our response lies our growth and our freedom, yes, because it's what you choose. It's kind of obvious. It's like, the thing happens, and it's like, are you framing it in because it's happened, right? The thing's happened. So how are you framing it? What are you doing now? What are you doing in this moment? And that is actually continuous stimulus and response. Is the situation, the environment that you find yourself in. Or that you've created for yourself, if you want to think of it that way. Yeah, so we have a ongoing stimulus response between the world, in quotes, out there and the world, in quotes, in here. So if we can respond from a point of however you want to think of it, high vibration. It's just going to be better for you, basically. So that's freedom. That might be freedom 101, because that is actually about how to have fun as well. And without fun, what are we doing? Right. This should be. Why is it doing that? Minor little hiccup. All right, well, we'll have to see how this goes. Okay. I can't believe I'm over an hour, but I did have all that big mess at the beginning where things weren't working. So there's so much in this subject, obviously. So I'm going to introduce an idea of mine, which I have talked about before, and I'm going to talk about a lot more. I'm going to be writing about it soon. I keep saying that, and I'm finding it quite a big one to get into, honestly. But let's just kind of, I guess, talk about this idea of freedom as the maximization of unrestricted choice. This is a funny term, isn't it, really? The maximization of unrestricted choice. Unrestricted, okay, so meaning anything, do anything. No restriction. That's a sort of, I guess you could say this is a problem with our use of the word freedom. Because that's sort of what people think it means, right? I think that's what people think it means. And the truth is, like, very strangely not that for me. Because it's about being free to align. You know, the whole world is unaligned. You know, because there's freedom and chaos, right? Like there's a lot of chaos energy, I feel, going on. So I feel like, well, aligning is good. Because I'm not aligning with what someone else. I'm not aligning with someone else. I'm literally aligning with, you know, with my idea of what's best. Oh yeah, of course, everyone thinks they're doing the best. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's true. So I'm just going to spend another little bit, I think, just talking about my thesis, which I have mentioned online before, but this is a sort of working thesis about free will. And the thesis is that a conscious, sentience, a consciousness only possesses one thing, literally just one. And that thing is choice. And that is a huge statement, I think. And it's the interesting thing is that it sort of fits in with the etymology as well, of not just of the word property, but of other. I mean, this is all the stuff I'm looking into. I'm not going to go through all of it now, but hopefully that's something that can kind of land with people. I'd be very curious to know what anyone thinks about that, because I'm going to keep writing on it, and I can talk a little bit about how I came to think that this might be true. It was because I have a long-standing thing about well, about not having my 40 acres or whatever it is. About. I mean, I could express it so many different ways, but yeah, I'm not best pleased really with this arrangement. Let's put it that way. And so I started to look at. I started to try and understand what people who are talking about natural law think about property. And my sense was, from the kind of bit of research that I did, that people hadn't thought deeply about it. And I think it's, in a way, it's a little bit cerebral at this point, because we're a more base camp than really talking about that, and I get that, but I see it as a weakness in the discourse, because I think, like other issues, it just has to be named, just has to be brought right up and just put in the spotlight. And this obviously comes to freedom, and so some of the issues which people have been doing with some success, I would say, statism is a thing that people have kind of managed to get a grip on. Started to get a grip on and shift their perspective. Carnism is something that has kind of been introduced into the field with some value, I think. And I just think that, to put it as sort of bluntly as I can, I guess, but I just don't really see how you can kind of live. You can have like two homes, for example, in natural law terms. They're not really your homes, I don't think. Like, I'm not saying that people can't live necessarily in that way, but the idea that it's a home, I don't know, there's something about, and that's obviously just the simplest example. I don't even mean in different places. I mean like two houses next to each other. if I live in this house, in this spaceship, and then there's a spaceship over there, and someone comes and says, mate, I need a spaceship to stay in. And I say, well, that one is mine. I'm like, is it? Is it? So you're not living there. And what else do I need to know? Like, and this is like, I mean, I'm saying it in this sort of black and white way, and then it's like, and I obviously understand that, like, this is 100% the world that we live in, where people do not associate living as in living free, as in the version that's in the root of the word freedom, living where you staying with your people. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy that that's it right in the root there. Anyway, yeah, so I started to just think about what property is, because it can be easier to talk about things, but when it comes to talking about land, land is a funny word. Like space is really, you're talking about space in a way. And there's, I don't really see, to me, like, there is a way of doing things where you talk to people and you figure things out, and that's the natural law way. And this is the thing, is that freedom is also freedom to exchange differently, freedom to find value differently, to appreciate value differently. And freedom to choose, freedom to say no to what you're offered. That's a good freedom, isn't it? I mean, I've barely scratched the surface here on freedom, and but I do want to just say, so I'm just looking through my notes here. Yeah, I think I will strum it out. Yeah. personal autonomy. Self-governance. Growing up.